everybody and welcome to today's video. If you're new, welcome to my channel. I upload fashion, beauty, lifestyle content, a little bit of everything, so hopefully there'll be something you enjoy. If you do, please make sure to like this video and also subscribe if you're feeling extra kind. It would make me very happy. So today I'm doing the next video in my uni series. This is one that I'd kind of said that I wanted to do quite early on in my kind of uni videos that I'm going to be filming, because I wanted to do this whilst it's still fresh in my mind, and also I'd kind of looked on YouTube for what to expect at my uni induction, because that's the video I'm going to be filming today, and I couldn't really find a lot. I could find a lot about like moving to uni, what to kind of do when you're first moving into your house and meeting like your flatmates and stuff, but me personally, I don't actually live at uni. I still live at home and I commute to uni, so they kind of weren't really relevant for me. So I was specifically looking for a video about what to expect at my first day of actually meeting my tutor, meeting the people in my classes, things like that, and there wasn't really a lot that I could find. So today I wanted to do a what to expect at my uni induction. So I was really nervous before my uni induction. I'd been given the date for it about a month prior, and I was like really excited when I first got given the date, and then towards like when it was coming towards like the time, I was so nervous, and the morning of and the night before I was just very nervous. I think something that helped me massively, because I wasn't living at uni, as I said, I did a practice drive to campus. It was like actually a few days before my induction, with one of my friends who goes to the same uni as me, but she goes to a different campus, but she kind of knew most of the way, just so that I wasn't stressing about like driving and actually getting there and parking and stuff like that. I kind of already knew where I was going, where I needed to park, like the parking payment situation, everything like that. So at least that was kind of one less thing to stress about, and I think that that actually did really help me. So if that's something that you might be nervous about as well, I personally have quite a lot of anxiety when it comes to driving. So yeah, I knew that that was something that I'd be stressing about. So if that's something that you know that you'd probably be stressing about too, I definitely would recommend doing a practice drive. Also, the fact that I then knew kind of, because my uni campus is quite big, where I was able to park. I drove all the way around my campus to kind of try and find the block that I was meant to be going to, because by the point of my induction we'd been given our timetable, and so I knew kind of what room I was in, what block I was in. So I drove all the way around, found the closest like parking spots nearest to the block that I was in, so I knew exactly where I was going when I got there. And also it would probably be worth, especially if you're like me commuting to uni, would be worth looking into the parking payment situation, because I know for me there is like a parking pass that you can get, which I believe is monthly, or it might be a year, I'm not too sure for my uni, but like you can inquire about it and find out about that and find out what's cheaper for you. I know for me, where my course is structured quite differently to other courses, I go in for 2 full-day blocks once every like 3 to 4 weeks, and then the rest of it I kind of do from home. That meant that for me it actually worked out cheaper just to pay every time that I go, so I knew where the parking like payment machines were and stuff, so I wasn't stressing about that, but it's definitely something to look into, I would suggest. So like I said, my induction was a half day. It started at 9 and the actual formal induction finished at 2, and then we had the rest of the afternoon to just kind of go and explore the rest of the campus, log on to the systems that they'd told us about in the morning, and yeah, just make sure everything was kind of working, like Wi-Fi and stuff like that. I know I needed to go and find the library afterwards, because I'd locked myself out of my like uni system already, so that was a great start. But yeah, and just kind of find the help desk and stuff, which is really useful, because now when I'm eventually back into uni, because I'm doing online uni right now, we're not able to go onto campus currently, but when I finally go back to uni, I kind of know where the help desk is, which I feel like I will be needing a lot. Also, I think the fact that they did the campus tour in the afternoon was really good, because then we'd already had the morning to kind of meet everybody on our course, and then we just kind of all went around together, which was so much nicer than trying to find everything on my own. So yeah, I thought that was really good. So jumping now way back to the start of my day, the first thing that I did, obviously park and find a car parking space, pay for my parking and all that, and then I went and found the reception. I hadn't collected my student pass yet. This was obviously my first time being on campus, because I assume if you've already moved into campus you just go and collect it at any point, but because this was the first kind of time that I'd been on campus in the day, it meant that I then needed to go and collect my student pass, because you're meant to have that with you like at all times. So I went and got that, and there was also a coffee machine next to the reception, and so I got a coffee just because I find that I'm way less awkward when I'm holding something, and I wanted to like go into the lecture hall and meet everyone and meet my tutor and stuff, and look really confident. I don't know, I think I just wanted to come across like really well and make a good impression, and I find that I don't really know what to do with my hands if I'm not holding something, so I wanted to get a coffee and go in with that, so that is what I did. I don't know if that's like a universal thing or if that's just me being awkward, but yeah. Speaking of coffee. So prior to me actually going into uni, I'd been sent a map of the campus so that I knew where I was going, because our campus has lots of like blocks in it. I needed to know which kind of block I was going to, so I'd figured that out, and obviously then made my way from the reception to the block, and we'd been given our timetable for rooms at this point as well, so I knew which room I was in, although I didn't really know how the room kind of layout worked, but my tutor met me in the kind of entrance hall to the block, and so that was really nice because he then like pointed me in the direction of the room, which was really good. So yeah, I did want to go into kind of this much detail when I was doing this video because I know that prior to my induction I was really stressing about all of these things, like how would I find my room, like where was I going to go, would someone meet me there, or would I just kind of have to knock on the door and hope that I'm in the right room because I've not seen anyone before, like what's going to happen. So yeah, I really wanted to go into quite a lot of detail with this just because I know I was really nervous prior to this, so hopefully this will help you guys if you're a bit nervous as well. So then when everyone had arrived at uni, the tutor then came up to the room as well, and then he just kind of introduced himself, introduced his role as our like tutor, our personal tutor for the time that we're at uni, and just kind of a bit about his background as well, which was really good. And then we got kind of the opportunity to say a bit about us. They did go round everyone, so I'm all right at like improvising stuff like that, but you might get asked to do a little piece about like who you are, your background, etc. So if you wanted to like think about that before you go to uni, that might be something that you might want to like think about prior, because yeah, I had to do that. Also, nobody expects you to know everybody's names on the first day. There is a lot of names to remember. Obviously, just try and remember the key ones like your lecturer and your tutor. But even then, like we had quite a few lecturers come in to speak to us, or via like Teams or Zoom. So yeah, you don't need to remember everybody's name, especially the kind of people in your class. You'll just kind of naturally pick that up the more you speak to them. So after introductions, one of the first things that they did was just make sure that everybody had the Wi-Fi access and gave everybody all of that. They asked if we all had like suitable laptops that we could use, and then got us logged on to all of the systems, and yeah, made sure everything was working because we couldn't really go through anything else without that. We did have a few like issues, like my Wi-Fi played up, I wasn't able to get onto the Wi-Fi and stuff like that, so we did spend a bit of time just going through and making sure everything worked, which was obviously the point of the induction, because without that you'd really struggle to then come into uni and like sort everything out. So it was a good job that we got it sorted all in the induction. One thing that I would say with that is like, obviously you're in a room with quite a lot of people, but don't be afraid to kind of say mine's not working, because it did seem for a while like everybody else's was working and mine wasn't, and I was like, if I don't say anything then they're just going to assume that mine is fine, and if it's not I'm just going to really struggle. So yeah, just like obviously try and be a bit confident and speak up and actually say like, mine's not working, can I have some help, and then someone will be able to help you. So one of the really helpful things that they then did was go through the course structure, our like different course titles, and also kind of roughly when they would be, because we do have some split modules that we'll do like the first part of at the start of year one and then the last part of at the end of year one. So they tried to kind of go through and explain all of that. Also, when we'd need to be in uni, like I said before, my course is structured in a different way, so I needed to know the days that I'd be coming into uni, so I did that, although we do have a kind of timetable online as well, which is really helpful, so they showed us how to get onto that as well. We then went through the basics of kind of uni grading and how like 70 plus is a first and 60 plus is a 2-1, etc. I might have got that wrong, imagine if I've got that wrong, but yeah, we went through all of that. I'm 6 months into my course, and even now when I get a grade through, I just like Google it and double check what I've got, because yeah, I've not quite processed it yet, but yeah, they go through kind of all of that with you. If they don't, I think somebody asked when we were there, but I was really glad that they did, because obviously I'm used to kind of A-level grading of like A star, A, B, C, so it was really useful to kind of go through that. And then also one thing that I found really nice on my induction was that they were saying if you've just done A-levels, you're used to kind of striving for A star, A, but it's going to be a lot harder to get those really high grades and get a first. So if you are getting like a 2-2 or a 2-1, like that is really good. So don't be disappointed, and I thought that was quite reassuring to hear. They then went through all of the details of like how to get extensions if we needed them on an assignment, where to go and get support if you needed support for like writing style or anything like that. They showed us where to get them. They then went through and gave us our email logins as well and just made sure everything was working with that. They said that's how they would communicate with us. Obviously, we can forward our uni emails to our personal emails just so that we get notified, but the main way that they'll communicate with us is through our uni emails, so to try and only use them. We then got a talk from a senior tutor about how she didn't really want to have to come into contact with us because that would mean that something's gone really wrong, but she kind of explained her role and like the support we could get from her if something did happen. We then got talks from some of the lecturers that we'll have for our modules over the next 3 years. Some of the modules I'm not even doing until like year 2 or year 3, but it was really nice to hear about the different modules that we'll have and the kind of variety of things that we'll be doing. And that actually made me really excited for the course, just hearing kind of the vast like variety of different topics that we'll cover. I'm doing a digital marketing degree, and yeah, we had like talks about the people doing like the social media module or the consumer behavior module and like stuff like that, and like the different aspects behind it. It was really interesting. There was then time for questions. I forgot, but we had lunch at some point in there, and then after questions we did a campus tour. I hadn't really prepared any questions beforehand because I didn't know what was going to be covered in the induction like at all, so I didn't want to like prepare anything and then it actually be answered. I feel like it's not really the same as an interview where you need to ask something. I feel like you'd be fine if you don't, but obviously if there is any questions that you want to ask, this is your opportunity to. It is your first day, so nothing is a silly question. And yeah, I thought that was really nice. It's kind of an open space for any questions that people have. Also, some of the things that people did ask, I hadn't thought to ask either. So it's really nice to hear other people's questions and kind of get that from them as well. And then we had our campus tour, which was just kind of the basics, the like help desk, the library, the reception, the cafe, and then our kind of block where we'll primarily be. They kind of went through how room numbers are structured as well, and like, so obviously if we're in like room 210, then we're on floor 2, room 10, and just kind of clarified that so that we know where we're going next time when we come in. And then yeah, that was pretty much it. After that point, it was just kind of our opportunity to go around, explore, like I said, do anything that we wanted to. This was when I went on to Uni Days and updated my Uni Days as well. I was quite lucky that I've only just finished a course through a college, so I actually had Uni Days whilst I was doing that as well, so I just updated mine. But yeah, everybody was doing their Uni Days as well on the induction, so that was good. And after that point, my induction was done. They made sure that we were all kind of clear on when our next uni day was, when we were next coming in, and kind of what would happen in that, who we would be meeting, and yeah, what our course title was. We knew how to access the pre-work that we get for our assignments through our system is Moodle that we use, but yeah, and then we just kind of went home. But it was a really good day. I was really nervous before, and I didn't really need to be. Like, was so stressed before, thinking like, how's it gonna go? I didn't know what to expect, but it was a really nice day, a really nice time to just kind of get to know people, ask questions. I did bring like notebooks and pens and like was waiting to be like bombarded with information, and whilst it is a lot of information in terms of like logins and stuff like that, it's not like learning information like theory, if that makes sense. So it's not like a difficult day, it's quite a nice day, and yeah, it's just mainly chatting and getting to know people and exploring the campus, which was really good. So I hope you have found this useful. Obviously, for the what to expect at your uni induction, I'm primarily going off of my own experience of my uni induction, but yeah, if anybody else has already is at uni and has had their induction and wants to leave any tips down below, or like things that I may have missed, that would be really helpful. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed watching. My advice would be don't stress about your induction, you'll be fine. It's a really nice opportunity to meet people. Just go in, try and be confident, go in with a smile, and I mean, we were wearing masks, so it was hard to go in with a smile, but go in with smiley eyes, and yeah, just be chatty, try and make friends, and it's a really nice day. And it's so easy to make friends as well, because you're automatically just going to be sat next to someone and you just start chatting, and if you're not a chatty person, they'll probably chat to you. So yeah, it was a really good day. I wouldn't say it was stressful at all. It was, yeah, really nice. Don't stress, and I hope you have enjoyed watching. Bye.